Did you not just hear me tell you that my background check had hella debt?
So what? You hardened because of that debt. That's life.
No, that is not the truth.
Terrell, your debt that you have is your life, though.
Terrance, no, if I could get rid of my...
You
if I
put
could go
yourself
back,
in that debt. Your parents didn't lock you into that debt.
Nah, you right.
You put yourself in that debt. You took that risk, and you're better off than the average person who stays at home.
Terrance,
It's the MalloryBrosPodcast, episode 218. It's a special day. It's 9/9 today. We recording this. Episode 218. Y'all know how the way I read it. I see 218. I see 9/9 today. That's 2 9s. Episode 218. 218. 1 and 8 together. That's 2 9s. I read it the way that I read it. I've made it this far on the 9, and it's because of that.
happy 9 day, happy Mallory Bros day on this side. Well, it actually will be yesterday for y'all. We're recording today. But yeah, happy Mallory Bros day, 9/9. It's crazy that we're shooting episode 218 on 9/9.
218.
But happy Tuesday. Hope everybody had a dope weekend. Hope everybody is, back in the swing of work or, back getting their laundry done, getting shit done. You might just be tapping in on your lunch break or on your shift. It's so dope when people be like, because the pod went out early last week. That wasn't Terrance. There's a lot of people that was like, oh, Terrance was in his bag this week. It was me.
That was impressive. It went up off the EEE.
Went up off the E. Niggas was happy to have it for their shift. Not going to guarantee it every week.
Mm-mm. I mean, I don't think the joint needs to go out at 8 a.m., but like before 6 p.m.
Nah, yeah. I be definitely trying to get this joint to y'all earlier for sure.
Yeah. Now we battling oh no, we not battling any games. I was about to say, are we battling Monday night?
Yeah, but speaking of the games, we had our first episode of our NFL picks go up on the channel as well. That did way better than I thought we were going to do. I didn't think that many people cared about the NFL picks.
That's what I'm saying.
I thought we was going to get like 1,500 views or something like that. That joint went up over 10 racks. I was like, oh, hold on, wait. This joint is a little bit of a something. Terrance texted me and said, hey, I think people might be fucking with this joint a little bit too much.
It might, and everybody who's listeners of the podcast, you just listen on Apple or you listen on whatever you listen to, you don't watch visually. Unfortunately, the NFL picks is on YouTube now. It's a YouTube link, not a YouTube link, but it's on the same channel where we put the full episodes of the podcast. But for some of you who might listen, and I know you probably really want that, I told Terrell,
listen to
it. Terrell don't want to put it on the podcast platforms.
I never like listening to streaming audio on podcast platform because when the technical, how with streaming it's a little bit different because you got the internet. So it's on YouTube. If you're using Spotify, you have and use YouTube. It is on there. It's on the same channel that you can get this joint.
I definitely feel the people that want it on the audio joint though. But hey, you can't satisfy everybody. I'm glad that we taking it to a new height. It got its own place. We're not bargaining. We're not saying, okay, bet. Anything else we need to talk about? No. Let's get to the NFL picks, and then we 40 minutes on that.
Yeah.
I'm glad we get to give the podcast its own space. So, yeah.
For sure.
But if you aren't tapped in, Mallory Bros Podcast on YouTube. That's the YouTube channel. You could tap in last week, see some of our picks. Mm-hmm. I think I made a lot of predictions that didn't come true, but I was not mad at them at all. That's all I'll say. For the week. I
had some predictions that I was like, try to tell you niggas.
Okay.
I had some bad ones too though. But that was dope. Definitely go over there. Definitely subscribe because that's going to be something that's going to come every week. Definitely got to stay tapped in with us. And we're going to continue to try and make it better as well.
100%. Love the new content and the new format of it.
For sure. But how was your weekend, sir? I know it seemed like to be a pretty chill week for everybody.
For me, it's going to be a chill weekend because any day now, y'all, it's September, any day now, the sun could come out. So we are literally waiting daily. I told everybody And I don't know if I said this on the last podcast. Maybe I say it again. Every day is like Christmas Eve.
You did.
Every day is like Christmas Eve, but not the kid Christmas Eve. It's the parent one. We on, I told A-Train, it's about, okay, bet. Do we still have time or do we not have time? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So other than that, it's watching sports, football, college football, and just kind of like trying to make it happen until the sun comes out.
I actually admire people that can keep up with college football.
Same.
Because there's so many games.
Same.
So many colleges, so many conferences. I was talking to people like, oh, nah, they Big Ten. See, this Big Ten is different from these motherfuckers.
SEC.
I'm like, damn.
Huh?
But that is dope. It's dope to watch them, every day. Because every day I'm waiting for that phone call.
Everybody.
And that's why your boy is on the work duty. Like, if y'all say, what the videos at? 9 times out of 10 is me.
But I'm trying to still stay involved,
But Terrance don't want to give up the work yet. He's still trying to hustle. But once again, the weekend was chill. Spent football Sunday at Mom's. The whole family came over, which was dope. It's always great to spend time. Took my son back to swim school. Like I told y'all, he used to cry every class. This was the first one. Well, we're going to get into the Rich Homie news. But the day we lost Rich Homie.
Yeah.
I took him to class, and I'm not gonna lie, I was down. I was just not really like, I wasn't really sad, but I just felt like my energy wasn't really the best. And took him to his class. I was like, he about to cry the whole time. He about to hate this the whole time. And he fucking loved it. He was splashing, learning. He did great. He got 5 stars for the day. And that was one of the first times I felt like, damn. I'm looking at him like, yo, I'm legit proud of you.
Yeah.
So weekend was actually wholesome for the most part, but we definitely had some heavy news, and I guess we'll start with that, with the passing of Rich Homie Quan randomly. It was the most random news ever, and I heard from Terrance first off of that tweet that you mentioned me in. That tweet that you mentioned me in was the first I heard about it. But since you the, bigger fan of Rich Homie, I guess you could start on how you felt about it.
I found out from a tweet too. I found out from a tweet in the worst way. I felt like we found out about people passing in the worst way where people say, hey, yo, why am I hearing? I think it was Thugger Daily. Shout out to that page. Or Thug Daily. I feel like I just be tapped in with the Thug pages,
Yeah.
And it was like, I don't know why I'm hearing that we lost. I don't know why I'm hearing that they saying Rich Homie overdose. And it's like, okay. Like, that's crazy news. That would be crazy if that really happened. And then when you see people saying, LOL, this better not be true. Not really LOL, but
like not taking it like, of course, yeah. Cause
yeah, we ain't lose Rich Homie. I'm gonna keep it a stack, y'all. Once the news was confirmed, I got in a whip. I was on my way to the gym already. I got to the gym and I spent type away on the way up there. I spent walk through on the way up there. And I was just spending all of the Rich Homie that I could just think of. Cause I'm like, man, I can't believe that this shit happened. But I'm like, still in the mix with it. When I got to the gym and I played Mamacita, I don't know if y'all know, and shout out to the people that shout out to Travis Scott, look, almost got a number 1 from that giant.
Yeah.
But me and A-Train love that song, Mamacita. Mamacita, Sita. Y'all know that song. Travis Scott featuring who? My nigga Rich Homie Quan. And I don't know why, as soon as the joint started playing, I started thinking about Sonny. I started thinking about how much I actually fucking love Rich Homie Quan. And I just started balling. It's so funny. I was balling. I sent that tweet. Terrell called me. I'm still in the whip, just kind of going through
He was going through it.
And you know what did I tell you? Why did I weep?
Terrance feel like, and he always felt like Rich Homie was such a pioneer and was such somebody that influenced a lot of what the game is today, especially coming from Atlanta, that he felt like us losing him meant that he may not get that respect that he deserved, that he already didn't get. And am I right?
100%. I think he is an absolute pioneer. I think, you like Rod Wave? You know who Rich Homie is? You like Future? You know who Rich Homie is? I could do that with so many different artists. You know how many people that we have seen, they got their own swag, they got their own style, but just Rich Homie was a nigga, him and Thug. They were 2 dudes out there that used their voice in a completely different way to sit within hip hop in a different way. And we watch hip hop move more towards them than the Jay-Z's and the Nas's.
Yeah.
So, I mean, and that's just for right now. You could say you don't like hip hop right now, whatever, but
That Atlanta sound, we were just talking about how the Atlanta sound never really went away.
if you're a Young Thug fan and you was listening to Young Thug and Rich Homie Quan between 2012 and 2016, that death hit different. That's all I'll say.
It did, man.
We lost a true, and it's not me just saying that because a nigga's gone. Terrell, I tell you, I said on this podcast before, I listened to a song by Lil Boosie featuring Rich Homie Quan called Like a Man every single time I go to the gym. Like, that is one of my favorite tracks. There's so many tracks that I just love featuring Rich Homie Quan. What's the joint? One of the joints that I listened to was I Heard. Remember I Heard by Gucci?
What you hear?
I love this nigga Rich Homie Quan so much, dog. I'm going to just say this. Rest in peace, Rich Homie. Prayers up for his family. And look, I love the dude. I'm going to keep his music going.
Nah, yeah.
I hate he's not here to get the respect that he deserves. Because it was going to come.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Did you see the clip that I posted on my Twitter where they asked him? It was from like an interview where the dude said, I interview a lot of rappers and a lot of them cite you as a inspo. And he was like, niggas still hold they nuts on me. That was him basically saying, yeah, there's influence and I hear it, but like niggas don't come up to me and show me that same type of love. Seeing him say that, I'm like, fuck that. They do deserve you. And that's why I was always like, hey, Rich Homie, y'all know Rich Homie? That's, to me, for him to lose his life to some bullshit like an overdose. And I guess we can move the convo forward to that. For him to lose his life to an overdose, it's just not fair, man. That's just not fair. You hate to hear that because it's foul play.
Mm-hmm. It feel like the world is just robbed. It feel like we be getting robbed of people behind stuff like this.
Yeah.
To die at 34, and it ain't even like this time we could point to the, gun violence or this violence or, we got to stop this each other. Now it's a different issue. You know what I'm saying? Where some people were coming out and saying that we glorify stuff like this, XYZ, and maybe it wasn't the best time to have that convo right when, we found out about his death. But, I mean...
The sad part is that's normally the only time we have that type of convo.
That's it. And I had tweeted that there's no other genre of music that has to deal with grief at the level of hip-hop artists and at the level of fans of hip-hop. And the reason why I say that is because, once upon a time, this dude was like, once upon a time, Dude Rock was crazy. We were losing legends left and right. So I'm not going to take that. But as of this moment right now, it just seemed like we deal with a lot of death from people that's not even 35, 40 yet. We losing rappers in their 20s. We lose rappers in their 30s. This person got shot. This person was out here in LA, shared his location. It's always a story behind, damn, if this wouldn't have been happening. You know what I'm saying? We lose so many people and then just gotta just keep going. And dope, we still got their music. But it's trauma that comes with losing your favorite artist or an artist that you used to listening to that you hope to see on IG or see do something at this award show or wait for their next project. Yeah. It's real trauma that we deal with that maybe we not so conscious of, but it's definitely there.
100%. And for me, Rich Homie got a song called Freestyle. That's another one that put me in my feels. But I'm like, Rich Homie had a soulful way of doing hip hop. That's why I feel like y'all saw a lot of people very emotional at his death. Mm-hmm. Because when you have to go back to the music will take you there. Like losing Takeoff, and this is not to be disrespectful, but losing Takeoff wouldn't be as bad to experience as losing somebody like a soulful singer. Because when we go back to Takeoff, we get inspired.
Sometimes, it can pick you up a little bit.
It'll pick you up. When you go back and listen to a soulful artist that you lose, you get all of those emotions. Yeah. Shit will peel it out of you. So I do think we experience a lot of artists dying and then going back to their art and reliving or bringing them back to life through that. That's why you saw a lot of people crying. And to me, like what he's talking about with the drug overdose, we've seen a lot of rappers that have overdosed recently on drugs. And drugs is something that we glorify in our music. It's glorified all over the world. We're not going to act like it's just hip-hop glorifying drugs.
Yeah.
You know, there's drug use is glorified in film and TV everywhere. And most of that ain't us. So it's everywhere. It's just, unfortunately, it's a very dangerous game to play with specific drugs. And unfortunately, those drugs can definitely take you out of this world.
And the one thing about hip hop, though, not trying to pick on hip hop or nothing like that, but we just had the conversation about Dr. Umar and how Dr. Umar said hip hop haven't done nothing good for black people in 50 years. And that's a controversial conversation. But at the same time, stuff like this happen, make you go, you know what? These niggas that be popping pills and we rap about all these pills and stuff like that, it's not even weed no more. It ain't even, you know, do you love me, Mary J? It's not even just like, oh, we smoking a little herb, you know? Yeah. Now niggas are doing real medicine and it's like, cool. I honestly would be terrified.
And niggas are doing it because of what they heard. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you saying I pop a perk because you heard another rapper pop a perk. You don't even know what perks do.
One of my favorite employees of all time back when I worked at Best Buy, OD'd from what they said was perks.
Wow, I remember.
Yeah.
He OD'd,
yeah, perks. And
that has to be crazy, bro.
I remember him having so much. He used to love, damn, what was that? What did he used to love? He would show me like rappers and be like, you see how he was like 17.
Yeah.
Right? Worked at the front lanes because he wasn't even old enough to work on the floor yet. And I remember him saying, you see the money they got? Oh, bro, look at that. He used to could spot brands.
Yeah.
It was kind of like crazy. He could be like, that's Gucci. Oh, and this is Chanel. You see he got a such and such sliders. And I'll be like, damn, you know this shit like the back of your hand.
Mind, yeah.
But you could tell he was copying all of the stuff they did. He started rapping. He was rapping about he used to post on IG a picture of his hand with like pills in it.
Yeah.
And
we
so
all know that dude.
I hate to say that the writing was on the wall or anything like that, but it's sad to see that this is the lane that they have to say, oh, bet, in order for me to be dope and cool to make it look dope, I'ma go that route.
Right. I mean, because everybody can't be J. Cole.
That's true.
Especially when J. Cole's still J. Cole. And you know I was gonna say that. These young niggas don't get a chance to be the new Lil Wayne. Why? Because Lil Wayne's still on tour. You know? These new rappers don't get to be the new J. Cole. Because why? J. Cole still talk about how hip-hop is dying and how he got to stretch these millions, but you're still rapping. So, like, you not opening the door for the next nigga to be J. Cole because he can't. Corday, you're not able to be J. Cole beside J. Cole.
Yeah.
Because you now are a B-side. And I was going to say that a lot of these artists who come out, you don't come out with your own sound. You trying to come out and sound like this dude. Did you see the dude on Twitter that was trending? They said he sound like Future. This Future little brother.
Yeah, I saw that.
He sound just like Pluto. My thing is this. We don't want a second Pluto. We don't need a second Future. Future got the biggest album this year. So we not hurt for Future. So why would I care to listen to another nigga that sound like him? After a while, you might be able to put a song out that I add to my playlist. But how many times do I add you as an artist? You know?
You know what? Yeah.
I'll add your song because you sound like one of the artists that I already got saved. But do I save you as an artist in my phone when you sound like another nigga that I got saved already?
That's actually a good point that you bring about the rappers because think about it. Drake turning 37, 38 this year. Kendrick mid-30s. J. Cole mid-30s. Future about to be 40.
Big Sean
mid-30s. You know what's crazy though?
Even the R&B people, even R&B and hip hop and women hip hop, even acting, y'all. All of the old heads aren't old. They're still doing what they're doing. There really isn't any room for new because old heads got to a certain point and then just stopped.
Yeah, we stopped getting the new crop. Think about it. Dipset, Fab,
I just saw
all of the rappers, Jadakiss, all of the rappers that are now in their early 40s, they stopped rapping like 10 years ago because, you know, a new crop came and they still got, of course, their core audience and they got their respect and they're heralded as legends. But there was a new crop. Future, is Future going, like, think about it. If Future about to turn 40 and all of our artists getting closer to 40, I don't see them stopping. Are these niggas gonna rap until they 50, 60?
And they're going to keep rapping the same way. And that's my issue has always been that, damn, y'all get to a point where y'all so big that it should be like almost like a Kanye West Good Music situation. I bet I got my camp of people, and this is what we do. We make music. But for real, it's still just you doing your own thing. And I ain't gonna say it ain't hard out here. I ain't gonna say it ain't bills to be paid, images to keep up. But when you ask us who's next, you know what they gonna tell us? Y'all not tapped in with who's next. They gonna say we not tapped in with the Destroy Lonely, we not tapped in with the younger crop of, you know what I mean?
You didn't have to be tapped in to Kendrick and Drake and J. Cole when they became the big three. They made their presence felt.
And they were gifted.
Yeah, but they were charting. Kendrick don't just get the keys to the city. Kendrick don't get the keys from Snoop and them just cause. He was making an impact. You know what I'm saying?
And you can't act like these young kids don't make an impact. They just not grabbed by the culture when they supposed to be.
You know what? You're right, because there is no
Why
OG.
did J. Cole not go grab Cordae?
I think he did.
Because maybe
you keep using J. Cole as the example.
I'm not. I'm using all of them. Why does Drake go and get with a sexy red instead of the next version of him? Oh, because you still are you.
You're the version of you.
Yeah. You're not going to go get the next you when you're still trying to be you. That's like Emmitt Smith. I'm not going to go get a better running back for the Cowboys while I'm still trying to be RB1. But if I'm retired, if I leave the game, I can say, yo, I'm putting this dude here because he going to go do and finish what I did.
Yeah. Put the good
while
word
I
in for
go
him.
and do other shit. We used to see hip hop go from hip hop to mainstream media. LL Cool J, fucking
Queen Latifah.
But even
you talking back in the day.
But but even on a smaller, even on a smaller level, who's another small? It was a transition. I'm not gonna say Ice Cube, but like
I'm getting ready to say
Ice Cube, Dre, 50. Everybody was rapping, but then they went into their business venture.
Yeah,
like 50 not putting out projects still. Yeah. Now he's literally in TV.
Yeah,
he didn't go to film school. He just took his rap career and plateaued with the rap shit and said, I'm gonna take this and go to the next. Somebody didn't.
But some would probably say that they were smart because they knew, all right, bet there's gonna be a new generation of rappers.
Yeah.
And so we kind of gotta figure out what's next. They also had that pressure though, T. And that's why these young niggas there's not really pressure on the artists that are already out.
Yeah.
Because it don't seem like the world is gravitating to that. Think about it. When you think about 50 Cent was super smart early, but he kind of understood, all right, bet, I need to make sure I can be doing something else. Same thing with Ice Cube, Ice-T, Queen, everybody way back then, they kind of understood that the game was going to change, so they had to do something else. All of the artists that we have now that we talking about, there's no pressure that, damn, my sound getting old, so I better get into TV. Or, damn, you know what? The young cats, they fucking with them, so I better do this. Nah. They still the cream of the crop.
They're still the top. Same with actors and actresses, y'all. We still thinking about Taraji. And this is no shade to Taraji, but, like, at her height, Taraji is 2004, 5. That's 20 years ago. And we still say, oh, name a black actress. We're going to name one that we've known for 30 years, not the next one, not the upcoming. And the upcoming ones are cool, but like, that's why I say, y'all, we're starting to see I'm going to save it. I'm going to save my thought on that for a later topic. But in my opinion, I think talent is less important now than anything. Now, they don't give a damn for real if you're talented. They need your following. An example, me and Terrell watched the Fight Night joint on Peacock.
Love it. I love it.
Love it. I loved it until I saw. I ain't gonna say I love it. I'm gonna say I like it. Mm-hmm. But it's little shit like the scene with Lori Harvey in there. Is this about talent or is this about clicks? Because nothing about Lori Harvey in the scene or even before the scene told me she should have been in the scene. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like her
it is
acting
random.
was.
She played.
It's like you play a beauty piece.
Yeah, for backstory, she played Lola Falana, which is literally somebody
What
that
did
was.
what did
She's
what
now, but
did
Lola
the entertainer
Falana.
say about Lola Falana?
Keynard, he's talking about barbershop. Keynard had that picture of the girl ass nigga. He said, "You gonna
Not
let her
after
keep
you
that
make
up?"
me take down my picture of Lola Falana.
Yeah. So basically, yeah, Lola Falana was somebody that people thought was gorgeous. Like,
Yeah.
so it does make sense to get somebody very pretty for the role. But I would have like what you probably saying. I would have liked to see maybe a young up and coming actress as opposed to going to the cute on social media but tied in the industry route.
I don't think anybody was really thinking of the Lola Falala more than they're thinking about, oh, they got Lori Harvey for this. Y'all don't realize how often we do that. Unless you our parents or somebody, to be tapped into the culture sometimes is a like detriment to your experience when you watch stuff.
But let me ask you this, because somebody may say, what if Lori Harvey is trying to, adapt or, do different things in the industry, and now she wants to take up acting? We've seen the IG models, the Caruccis. Look, Lori Harvey now.
Mm-hmm.
Even at one point, I think India Love did a Tubi joint. You starting to see joints that was cute on IG that racked up all these followers. And then, of course, there's a lot of nepotism when it comes to Lori. Lori tied in. She just not just
her father's Steve
IG
Harvey.
chick. Right, exactly.
Yeah.
You're doing a Will Packer joint.
Yeah.
It can happen. But how do you feel about people saying like she should be granted the space to take a, pivot in the film? Look at, you see Chloe Bailey's in it?
Yeah.
She normally, traditionally was a singer.
But she's been in she's been in movies since she was a kid.
Yeah, she did Fighting Temptations.
She's been in movies
yeah,
since a kid.
She had.
So my thing is this. Your talent used to have to get you in the door. It don't matter. Now, it used to be your talent had to get you in the door. Now your follower count can get you in a door that normally talent has to get you in. I could be as popular as ever. But they used to say, okay, you popular, but you're not an actress. You're popular, but that doesn't mean you get a role unless you can show us that you can act. Yeah. That's why when you look at all of the entertainers / football players / rappers that became actresses and actors, they literally, you could tell that they gave a fuck about the rapping. It wasn't just, oh, we gonna put Marshawn Lynch in this scene to say a couple things, and then Marshawn Lynch get to say, yeah, I'm an actor now. No, you're not. You don't give a fuck about the craft. You don't give a fuck about being in movies. You were just in that one joint. Like if Lori Harvey's trying to be an actress, hey, I'm all for it. But you're going to get judged like an actress. You're not going to get judged like Lori Harvey trying to do other things.
Nah, yeah,
that's
what
what
true.
we like to do.
That is true.
You're going to get judged like an actress.
I think she did a good job, though, T.
But as soon as I say she does a bad job, what's your response? Well, come on, bro. What if she try to break into it? And I'm going to keep it a stack with y'all.
But what about when the person that's trying to break in, that has a follow account, that maybe isn't an actress, like all of the stuff you're saying, what happened when they do a good job and people say they do a good job? Now here you come, you could be looked at as trying to hold them back from evolving.
Well, my thing is this. You got to do a good job. Name the person who had a following.
I thought Lori didn't do a bad job. I thought she did a decent job in that role. She obviously Kevin Hart.
I thought the Kevin Hart scene with her and Kevin Hart where they're redoing a scene. Okay.
I thought it wasn't bad though, T.
They like kind of reenacted a scene from a movie she was in. Y'all.
Did you think it was bad?
Terrell, it wasn't good. Can I shit on it and say it's bad? No. But it's just like we're tolerating it because of the stars that we see. That's why I say I don't want to add a combo.
That is it.
But like we will tolerate something because of a face. I told Terrell, I'm not a face guy when it comes to film and TV. I can literally watch anybody. Why y'all think I love Baby Reindeer? It had nothing to do with a specific face. Nothing but story. That's it. It wasn't about who this dude was.
Yeah.
It wasn't about this. Like, I got into it with Terrell over Presumed Innocent because I didn't like the end of it. I did not like the end of it.
Why you didn't like the end of it again?
I ain't like the end of presumed innocent because nothing in the world tells me that he was doing what he was doing to. I don't want to ruin it for nobody.
Yeah,
nothing in the world told me the whole time I'm watching that. And you can't. Oh, but this is Jake Gyllenhaal me. I don't like it.
I never did that to you. I didn't like. You can't do the twist in the movie and not justify it.
Yeah.
Think about it.
You can't tell me that I knew you was the killer the whole time. I knew you was the killer. You can't just tell me that at the end. You have to make me believe. You know what?
I gotta understand.
He did always have an eye on him.
Yes.
You know?
They do a really good job of that, and give me a movie where they do a really good job of selling the twist back. Oh, 6 Sense. Or, not gonna say what it is.
7. Brad Pitt.
Yes. Fight Club.
Where you
Beautiful
start telling
job.
yourself, oh shit, you know what?
This makes perfect sense.
This makes sense.
This
the
motherfucker
who done it.
Uh-huh.
Even what's the best who done it that I've seen?
You know what I would say? I would say, I don't even know what you would call what Quentin Tarantino did with Jackie Brown, where it's not necessarily a twist, but it's just things you haven't seen. And now I'm going to just show you that.
Nah, yeah.
Now I'm going to really walk you through when Max Cherry goes and gets into this mall. You know what I'm saying?
Nah, yeah.
And so...
Not to get on a nerdy soapbox, but Jackie Brown was a anthology. It was a novel written by...
Rum Punch by...
It was Rum Punch by Elmore Leonard. And the book is just like that. And that was Quentin Tarantino's purpose. Also, that's Quentin Tarantino's purpose for every movie. For it to be like a book. Because you could read a book. You read The Godfather. If you read The Godfather by Mario Puzo, there's going to be a part where I forget what chapter, but it opens with him saying, look what they did with my boy. Or something like that. Or, I forget the way it was written. Those who know that book know. But we found out about the death of his son before it even happened. You read about him talking to the coroner about what happened and how, once upon a time, I did a favor for you. Now I need you to do that favor back for me because look what they did to my boy. We have no idea what he's talking about until the very next chapter where they say his son wake up in the morning, get dressed. Oh, okay, I got to do this. We all know we just read the scene about that motherfucker dying.
Yeah.
QT and other, of course, filmmakers brought that into filmmaking, and it makes a whodunit or a mystery or a drama. It just makes it way better. That's why Pulp Fiction took flight in the 90s, because who did that before?
Yeah. All right, bet. We got a little...
yeah. But rest in peace, Rich Homie Quan. I don't know if that's the same topic.
No, we definitely got a way off of that, but definitely rest in peace, Rich Homie Quan, a true pioneer, a legend. And I feel like the world kind of moved on too fast from that, if I'm being completely honest. But another thing that happened that we kind of missed was that school shooting in Georgia. RIP to those teachers and the kids that passed away in that. That was insane. Did you read that whole story about that, T?
The what?
The school shooting. Pay attention.
Oh, the school shooting, my bad. Before we get to the school shooting, can I say one more thing? Before we move on to the next topic?
Okay. Even though we already...
Okay, bet. Let's go.
But what is it?
We'll just do it after.
No, what is it? Because obviously it's something that... Is it something that pertains to the last thing we talked about?
Not really. I was going to talk about how the kids are doing that fucking... A-Chain was telling me about how the kids are doing that nitrous or the gas shit. Did
you see
dipper?
the niggas that would comment on my bottle?
Oh, yeah. It looks just like that. Whippets, yeah.
Somebody was like, I thought Terrell was on laughing gas. What? What is this? This is one of the knockoff.
What is this?
What's the official joint like?
Stanley.
It's like a knockoff, yeah. But it's water. Niggas
don't even got a brand on it. This nigga got that shit from the last aisle in Marshalls. You know how you about to check out and you say, oh, fuck it.
My brother-in-law got this for my fiance. I stole it from her.
My bad.
So, yeah.
You get a ragging on somebody, you be like, well, my mother purchased this. Oh, shit.
My grandmother knit this shirt. Can't say nothing about that nigga. But, once again, RIP to the people that died in the 2 teachers and I believe it's 2 children. Or maybe more than that. Forgive me if I don't know every single one, but the victims of that shooting, 14-year-old boy with an AR-15. And the only reason why I wanted to talk about that is because, man, the gun conversation when it comes to the United States is such a split conversation. There's so many people that have different views on it. And at the end of the day, we'll always have these clashes about this stuff. Nothing happens. And then more children, more teachers are dying. When I learned about, I was reading the page that has all of the backstory. It's the Wikipedia page on the shooting, has a lot of the backstory. And I didn't know that schools was taking as much precaution as they do. So first of all, in the United States, every school everywhere has to have 1 to 3
like training, like a fire drill.
Active shooter drills every year. The school that he shot up in Georgia, they legit had things in place already. So, in these classrooms in these schools, when you go out the door, it automatically locks. You got to use something to do that and get in the classroom. You can't just go in classroom. Growing up, when you go to your math class, whatever, the door is propped open.
Yeah.
You just walk in, or if it's closed, you pulling the door, you letting everybody know you came late. This joint now, you got to have a badge to be able to unlock the door, which I think only teachers and administrators have, or you can only open it from the inside. So they have all of this stuff in place. They said that the kid walked up to a classroom and a kid saw that he had a gun through the plexiglass and didn't open the door for him, and he opened fire, I think, at another classroom. But so much trauma baked into what happened. And then just to see the response from everybody, it's just kind of like, man, like.
To me, I don't know what to say.
What is going to take?
Point, how many times do we report on these little situations and we just be like, damn, it's fucked up. But there's nothing we can do about it, y'all. Even to the point where when we grew up, we had fire drills. We didn't have no active shooter drill. I don't even want to tell my daughter that. I don't even want to tell her, hey, there's a possibility that a dumb motherfucker could run in here and kill all of y'all. I feel like I would have been terrified going to school doing drills like that. Yo, somebody could come in here and just shoot all of us.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're a kid, there's a certain part of you that knows you're just a kid. Mm-hmm. You ever heard a kid say, I'm just a kid? Like, I'm a kid. Yo, chill. I'm only 10. You know what I mean?
Yep.
It's like they know they're young.
It was a heartbreaking video where the teacher was of a kindergarten class. She said her kids, when they do active shooter drills, they actually love to do it because they love to get under their desk.
Okay, yeah.
Think about that. They don't even understand
they don't know the weight
scale of what y'all really doing. They just like having fun getting under the desk. I got a son, bro. Man, that shit will really, if you look into it, it'll be like, damn. And that's why the gun conversation kind of pissed me off, because it seemed like, and I'm just going to say it, the people that are super pro assault rifle, it just seemed like they care more about keeping their assault weapons than any of the death that happens. Mm-hmm. As long as you don't take our guns away, they would rather have the teachers go and become fucking John Wick.
Yeah.
Arm the teachers, put security in the school, do everything, but don't take my guns away.
All because, look what you got. They're baking up this Venezuelan gangs and immigrants coming to the country. And look, all of that stuff, that type of push of all of that, whether it's true or not, y'all, because I've seen the mixed whatevers for it. But that type of narrative being out there, that's going to hurt the gun conversation, because they going to tell you that, Terrell. What about these gangs coming out there? How we protect our families from that?
They've been saying the same thing since Sandy Hook that happened in 2012.
That's true.
And we have had Uvalde. We have legit had school shooting after school shooting, a shooting up a church, shooting this up, same type of weapon, and it never matters because everybody's so afraid for the day that they have to use their assault rifle to protect. All right, bet. But you've been saying that for how long? We've had a bunch of school shootings. You've yet to have to take your assault rifle to protect yourself from somebody coming to your house.
That's a fact.
It more so just be looking like people be wanting to keep their guns. And I guess I get it, right? But like, we have motherfuckers dying, and y'all want to say, oh, it's my, Second Amendment right, or whatever amendment it is, right? To have this. And it's just such a weird thing that is only in the States for real. And nobody wants to talk about it because,
the father of the dude who had the gun ended up getting arrested because of the bullshit, and that's a good sign.
Yeah, because they actually, your son has been talking about doing shit like this, and you buy him an AR-15 for Christmas.
I told A-Train, I said, there's got to be a certain sense of responsibility you feel if your child does something like that. Terrell, you tell me. But
he tried to hide the gun, I think, or something like that, or throw
something
it
like
away, or
that.
something like that.
If Sonny walked up into a school and shot everybody in there, I would feel 100% responsible for that. That's my kid.
Yeah.
What? I don't know why you would do that, but I don't know how I could go forward and be like, damn.
You know the one thing you would not do?
What?
Know that she think like that, which I would never put it on my B. But know that she was thinking like that and say, Merry Christmas. Here's a fucking
rifle.
High-powered rifle. To me, that's crazy, and you definitely deserve to be charged.
100%. But look, they be hunting. Y'all out there hunting deer, and you commending him for taking the life of a big beast. It probably would not be hard to kill a human if you on the regular kill large ass animals. Don't they say that's where it started? All of a sudden, bruh is cutting bunny necks, and you cut the head off of a turtle, cut the turtle out of his shell, sick shit like that. All of that stuff graduates. That's why I was like, all right.
Just, you know what I'll tell you, bro? Look at the comments of this video and look at how people have such a difference in ideology about like an assault weapons ban or weapons ban or anything. It's so split. I've seen a couple of podcasts talk about it, what happened. And bro, looking at the comments is like, damn, people have such a difference of opinion on this topic. But as a gun owner, I don't think I need a fucking M16 or the joint that I play with on Call of Duty, my primary number 2 class, to protect the crib. I'm good with what I got. It will work.
And if I need anything on top of that, it's just not my day.
Nah, but you know what?
Like if it's an actual apocalypse.
Nah, T, this is my thing. I think you should have I think you should be able to buy a shotgun. You should be able to buy a shotgun or whatever handgun you want.
You shouldn't be able to buy an army weapon.
You should not be able to buy an assault rifle like that. And you would think the president getting half his ear clipped, which I don't know if you've been seeing.
Which was not, I don't give a fuck what y'all say.
That motherfucker
did
ear
not
is
get
completely fine.
He got hit with some shit maybe right here. I've had some shit thrown at me, but we've seen so many pictures of this man's ear in perfect form. Also, you apparently got grazed right here. How do you get grazed here? There's no blood here.
He ain't had no cartilage loss.
There's no blood here. You just got grazed here. It looked like somebody shot you with a BB right here. But y'all mean to tell me he turned his head and got grazed here, but his ear is still intact. He still got his full ear.
Y'all seen what happened to Mike in Breaking Bad when he got out of the motherfucking El Pollo Hermanos truck?
Y'all
that motherfucker ear was hanging. That felt real. You know what? I'm not gonna get into the conspiracy of that.
We're not gonna compare him to a show. Even though, because TV is TV, they could easily slap you with, he's bringing up a TV show.
Hey, but you know what? Let's move on because I don't want us to get too deep in the conspiracy bag. You had that tweet that you wanted to read about the staying with your parents.
Yeah. This is an actual older tweet, but it's been in my what's the name for a minute, and I want to talk to y'all about it. It says,
don't forget the @name.
The @name is @BougieLifeTie. Somebody named Tyler. So if that's your home girl, hey,
she got
Her tweet did numbers 1.6 million views.
Sheesh.
But it says, I want to see a post that said, I seen a post that said 1 year staying with my parents and I'm still broke. And I'm sorry, but that money don't really start coming in until you take that risk and get out on your own. When you know your parents are there to save you, you don't even hustle the same. And that was her tweet. And I think I told Terrell that's a good, a very interesting observation. I'll say that because Terrell, you somebody who lived with the folks before, haven't moved in, moved out, moved back in, moved back out. So I feel like you could speak to that for my people that still live with your parents and feel like, look, 1 year staying with my parents and I'm still broke. What do you think about that? What do you think about her saying, well, you know what? Well, the reason why you still broke is because you under a safety net of living with your parents. That's basically what she's getting at.
I feel like you watch so many different cultures stay at home with their parents through they getting a degree, through they doing this and that, and they don't got to move out until they figure it out. But for some reason, shout out Davey Ruffin. Davey Ruffin did a reel where he was talking about why it seemed like black folks be quick to kick out kids out. He was like, my good man that's Haitian stayed with his family still to this day, and he about to be 30. But they not forcing him out. And he actually had a dope dialogue in the comments where people were talking about whether they would let their kids stay, whether they stayed. But honestly, she made a good point about what can happen when you stay with your parents, because there is the side of it where if you got that safety net, or if you don't got the pressure of having to pay your old rent or figuring something out, sometimes people be lazy.
100.
But I think it really all comes down to everybody know what it's like when you try and figure out what your next move going to be.
Yeah.
You could be working a job that you've been at for a couple of years. Some of y'all could be there now. You're working a job. You've been working that job. Like, you know that job in the back of your hand. You know the building. You know how to log into this, that. You know this motherfucker, that motherfucker. But you don't really know what you want to do next. And if your parents letting you rock, and Terrance, you can say this as somebody who been paying rent since they was 19 years old, 18 in Florida.
Damn,
We had to, yes.
I probably paid a $200,000. Do y'all know that? Over 10 years paying rent?
10 years. Yeah,
I could have put over 50 grand in somebody's pocket.
Me and G looking at new places now. And when I look at my rental history, I'm like, do you know I've been signing leases for 10 years this year? Because we signed our first lease
in 2020.
No, I'm sorry, 12 years. We signed our first lease July 2012. Literally, y'all, we graduated high school and was in college months later like normal people do, but we had to sign a lease because we was in Florida.
A lot of people these days go to school and sign leases for apartments now. That's normal now. But when we went, it was dorm room. You had to get a dorm, but we in Terrell got an apartment.
But
don't think we privileged. Trust me, we had to pay for that bullshit.
And you're still paying for it to this day. I did my background check, and I'm like, why it say I owe so much money? Oh, my student loan.
Yeah. Hold on, wait, the fuck they get that number from?
Yeah, I'm like, hold on, wait. But yeah, hey, look.
They put your car note, all of your shit together.
Yeah. It looked like you owe.
It looked like you are.
It looked like you owe something crazy. But there's a lot of people that may feel like they don't know what to do. And I would have liked to be able to stay at the crib.
You could have.
Without the pressure to leave or figure it out and stack money.
Yeah.
And be able to like have some savings when I start. You know what I'm saying? That's the only thing that I kind of think about. Like, it's dope to see some of these people, like my boy Steve, that I don't know if he's still there, but stayed with his parents all the way through. He was making bread.
Terrell, you're turning a conversation into something that it's not.
No. It's the same thing. It's the same thing. Because it's motherfucking staying at home. Or you want to focus on the part where she said people get lazy.
Because even though you make a point, what if their parents say, yeah, you can stay home? You speaking on how black people don't let or how sometimes in our culture it's get out at 18. And that's true. We should let our kids stay at home more. But this person is literally saying, 1 year staying with my parents, like he was allowed to, and I'm still broke. And that is the point. The point of the tweet.
Okay.
Because you make a good point about the origin of staying home with our parents and why we don't want to.
Right.
But now we've got to a point where you stay home with your folks and you're still broke. Well, then now that brings up a different conversation.
1 year though?
At 1 year, you're right. I'll give him some smoke back for that because it's hard to figure it all out in 1 year.
It took us years to really even figure it out.
But you didn't spend years at mom's house figuring it out. And that's the point. The point is, y'all, like the girl said.
Hold on, wait, real quick. Do you agree?
I agree with what she's saying on this part right here. That money don't really start coming in until you take the risk and get out on your own.
I don't agree with that.
I'm not saying you don't have the ability to make money. But I do think there is a safety net knowing that if you don't get money this week, you're going to be good because your parents always going to have your back. I think when you have your own apartment, even if you could go back to your parents' house, When you have your own apartment and you know, damn, I need money for rent because I cannot go back. That type of hustle, even though you can go back. Me and A-Train have talked about this, y'all. Your parents never really want to kick you out. They just want you to go off and be your own adult after a while. If you're still 28 living with your parents, they love you. They have you, but most likely, they probably, unless you're super responsible and you live in there like a roommate, they probably want you gone if you still living there as their kid that's living at home. If you living there, you paying bills, you putting your foot in and it feels like a big working household and you just using them, that's how you should be. But I think a lot of people, being at home is being at home. Being at your mother's house is being at your mother's house. And being under your parents' umbrella is safer sometimes than holding up your own. You know what I mean? So I do think the conversation is about if you think that the hustle is different when you live on your own. That's the real question. Do you think your hustle was different when you were from under that safety net, whether it was provided to you or not?
I think circumstances can determine how you move, for sure. I'm not going to say that when I was at mom and dad's, I wasn't hustling, because I was. I was trying to figure it out. I was literally, I think when we graduated from college and we came home, we eventually got our place, but we were given a space to come back, and we didn't move out until 2016. And then, even then, it was if this don't work out, y'all can come back here. You know what I'm saying? And so, I'm not going to say that I think being thrusted into the world when you're not ready is going to give you this amazing drive. It's going to send you into what's called a chaotic, it's going to put you into a fight or flight where you're going to have to, you're going to have no choice but to react. But I don't think it's the ideal situation. Like, we sometimes be talking about stuff that's like not necessarily the best in a way that it's supposed to be like something you should do. Like, think about the parents that set their kids up for success to the point where, like, yo, you can legit stay in this house that we have. Or you could stay here and join the business type shit. Or, you know, you got a little money that we save for you that you can fall back on. We're going to put you up and you'll still have the room to whatever. That is what you should be expecting or looking forward to.
What if
as a kid?
What if they get that? That doesn't change the fact that there's a comfortability in being set up like that.
I feel like you may have a personal. I don't agree with the fact that I don't think if you stay home, you're not gonna have drive because you're just gonna be lazy.
I don't think that's not what she's saying.
You gonna have less. She said something about not having.
Basically, the person saying 1 year staying with my parents and I'm still broke. And the girl put, I'm sorry, but the money don't really start coming in until you take the risk and get on your own. When you know your parents are there to save you, you don't hustle the same.
I feel
that's
like
what you disagree with.
That could be yes, because I feel like it comes down to the parents. You can push your kid to do something with their life,
Terrell,
and not kick them out. That's my only point.
It ain't about kicking your kid out. It's you keep running at the parent thing. It's not about being a parent or your parents setting you up. You know how many motherfuckers out there, parents have set them up for life. They don't do shit every day because they're just living on what their parents set up.
Terrance,
and they're
how
wondering,
many kids like that versus the latter?
I mean,
you talking about a rarity.
But you're talking about it. You're talking about how kids should be set up. And I'm letting you know the kids, even that are set up, still struggle moving forward past their parents' umbrella because of the safety of you always being able to fall back on your parents and not your ass. And I think when you live on your own, even if you could go back to your parents' crib, you know falling means falling on your ass. Even if it's in front of your parents. Your parents are always going to be there for you. But guess what? You're going to go to your fucking Hot Wheel bed and Legos posters back in their crib. You know what I'm saying?
I feel like I feel, okay, and my point to what you're saying,
you don't want to normally go back to your parents' house when you move out.
If you don't have the drive right now and you at mom and dad's, if you move out, you're not going to get this drive. The
I
same
disagree.
way you are in the house. You have to make a decision with yourself to want to do something.
I don't see how
if you at the crib with mom and dad and you just don't have this drive, getting out on your own, I don't see how that's going to give you the drive unless what you
don't see in any way how that can give you more drive to be out and responsible on your own. I don't see how you saying that.
I think you got to make the decision for yourself to want to do it, because there's a lot of people that think they need to move out a lot more than you thinking about. There's a lot of people that move out, they not ready to move out, but they think they need to just be on their own to do it. And what they got to do, they got to come back. And that never feels good. That sometimes make you feel like you starting back at square one, when if you would have stayed with mom and dad,
I don't know why I feel like that's a different topic.
And then moved out, because
moving out when you're not ready is one thing, but we talking about if your drive is different when you on your own. But Terrance,
she said you won't get that drive until you really take that risk.
But now you're getting on people for taking that risk, and they fail and they got to go back. But I still think leaving your parents' house and failing and then having to go back, to me, is better than staying there for 30 years. That's my only... I don't agree. You don't have to agree.
We disagree. Agree to disagree.
We could agree to disagree.
Because I think if I had the ability to stay and save up,
you would not be the same nigga.
You would
not be the same nigga.
You don't know that, though. I might have struggled less. I might have had less debt. I might have been able to do more. I might have been able to get more resources because I had to save.
But you also might not have done shit.
Terrance, it's niggas that
There's
I know.
a mic for that.
My boy Ali just became a fucking pediatrician. He was able to stay home and work. He still worked the job. I met him at Best Buy. He worked the job, but he was able to stack bread to put towards getting the next degree, getting this degree, going to this school. Like, he was in the crib, and he still had to drive. And that's why I think it's an excuse to say, oh, I'm broken after 1 year. Okay, but let's talk about what you've done over the year. That's what we haven't seen in the tweet.
And if he haven't done much, it could be a result of the comfortability of living with your folks that's got you doing not much.
And you think
feel
that
like
person...
the hustle that comes with knowing I have to pay the rent every month. Mm-hmm. I don't get the safety net of staying under my parents' umbrella and because let's say things go left for me this month. It's not do or die. It's I can just try again next month, I guess. But for the people who it need to work this month, or I'm getting put out, that hustle is, to me, that person gonna hustle different from you. Because, you're taken care of. You have the safety net of being at home with mommy and daddy. And if you're lucky enough to still have that drive to go and be successful like Ali, that to me is different from the person who's literally like, 1 year at my parents' house and I'm broke. Oh, okay, you know why? Because low key, obviously, Terrell, him being at his parents' house ain't doing much. It's just comfort.
So if you broke at your parents' house, you don't have money, you want this person to move out, take a risk on an apartment.
I'm not.
Right? And they're going to just develop this drive. Because think about it. Let's say you working somewhere where you making just enough to really pay bills for real, but not really. You're going to really have to hustle, maybe pick up a side gig, something like that. That's going to work for some people. Not saying it won't. So what she's saying, I don't think I all the way disagree with. I just don't like the precedent that you're trying to set. Don't influence a bunch of people to just ditch their parents' house, because we have told people before in the past, if you can stay as long as you can stay, and stack if you can stack.
But you gotta have, like you said, that Ali type of drive.
You do.
Because to me,
that's why I said you gotta, it don't matter if you with mommy and daddy or not. You gotta be able to you gotta tell yourself, all right, bet, I wanna be a pediatrician, or like he did. And so I'm gonna go to school, and then I'm gonna do this. Like, you gotta
Where is he a pediatrician at? Because we need a pediatrician.
I will hit him up and ask, because I know he live out here. So
hell yeah. If he's on his shit. Ali, if you just started and you a little rocky, we don't want to
guess how old he is. Is he 25? Is he 24? No, he's probably about to turn 30 soon. And his dad ain't saying, you better go to the army or get a job and get the fuck out.
You're talking about something that we're not talking about. That's very irritating. You're turning the whole thing into we kick our kids out This isn't about that. This person isn't getting kicked out. This person is being allowed to stay and then saying 1 year staying with my parents and I'm still broke. My thing is this. Okay, well, maybe it's the fact that, especially speaking on 1 year staying with my parents, I'm still broke. Okay, this speaks to your drive. This don't speak to...
That's all I've been saying this whole time.
But you could make a case that his drive isn't what it is because he's safely under his parents' roof.
I do see that. I do see that. I just don't think the solution to that not having that drive because you under your mom and dad's roof is you taking that risk because you're just going to end up right back under mom and dad's roof.
Maybe. Or the risk. Terrell.
Or the risk
you
to pay off.
took the risk and look where you at.
No.
You niggas talk about how he haven't paid rent since I've been paying rent since 19. You think if you stayed at mom and dad's house till around now, you wouldn't be a coddled fuckboy softy?
Did you not just hear me tell you that my background check had a hella debt?
So what? You hardened because of that debt. That's life.
No, that is not the truth.
Terrell, your debt is what we got is your life, though.
Terrence, no, if I could get rid of my...
You put yourself in that debt. Your parents didn't lock you into that debt.
No, you're right.
You put yourself in that debt. You took that risk, and you're better off than the average person who stays at home.
Terrence,
your debt
it was when
is
I was
good
a salesman.
debt.
When I made 80 grand and I sat across from the sales manager that made 70, and I knew he had more spending money than me because I got to pay back student loans, and this motherfucker worked at Best Buy since he was 14.
But are you still working at Best Buy? But are you still working at Best Buy?
That's not the point.
No,
but the point...
And is that nigga still working at Best Buy?
Terrence, no, he's not. Fuck out of here.
I don't know who you're talking about.
Exactly. You're trying to step on my example, and you're talking about.
But the point is, manager position at Best Buy. The point is, you had to pay back.
The point is,
look where you ended up.
The point
you're
is,
not working for Best Buy.
The point is, me at my level right now, I still have that debt from those decisions that I may not have. Terrence, you didn't have long to think.
Okay, boy, look at the key in your pocket. So what? You have debt.
Okay, see, that's you changing it. You moving the goalpost.
I'm not moving a
You are. It's not about that.
You don't know these Terrell.
It's not about
Terrell. You starting to do this
thing. You're not even letting me finish.
It's not about moving the goalpost.
It's not about where I am now. It's about the fact that I still have the debt from the decision that I made when I was 18.
It was a good decision.
But I took a risk
that you needed
by going to college and taking out a big loan, right? It might have been smarter for us to really think a little harder about what we wanted to do before we had already launched ourselves into debt.
Okay, I get that.
Is that fair?
You can say it's
That's what
fair,
I'm saying,
but I disagree.
If we would have stayed home,
home, you could
be too comfortable, but you also get time.
You don't get crew. You don't have your life if you stayed home. That's a fact.
You don't know that, T. That's not fair to say. You don't know that.
Okay.
You don't know where my life could have taken me. Yeah, I wouldn't change anything about my life now. That's true. But
one thing
I
know, I would not have A-Train.
You don't know
I would not have Sonny. I would not be the person I am if we stayed home. You would be a fuckboy ass nigga.
That's like saying I would have never did this if I would have never went and bought. Like it's. Bro, you literally can't prove what you're saying.
That shit around your neck, my belief is so strong in that number on your neck. You can't sit here and tell me.
I'm gonna cook the nigga.
You can't sit here and tell me that I should have rerouted. We wouldn't be here without the choices we made. And I'm telling you, y'all, staying at home would have never worked. We would not be sitting right here.
Let me ask you a question, Terrance. Question for you. Where did you start this 9 shit at?
Terrell, what the fuck does that matter?
Where you started?
I didn't stay there.
Terrell, where you start?
So because a nigga
you
graduated
graduated college and you went back to your mother's basement.
Because I did not have a fucking apartment and I didn't let myself stay there.
You didn't take a risk and have to get 3 jobs. When you stayed at home until we could afford to get that apartment that we got again.
You never want. Hey, this is what I was gonna say out too. Your one remark, one comeback, can you do this for me real quick? From your parents, you're one of those away from saying, I need to get the fuck out of here. That's just a fact. Me and Terrell,
that's true,
were grown ass men when we came home from college. 2 of us. And staying in that house with my dad. My mother and my dad used to tell us, we grown men now, so we go clash. Crew gonna get to a point where he's like, man, fuck this nigga. This is my dad. Fuck him.
And guess what? I will never thrust him
Think about
into...
it. I've never said fuck dad, but like you do get to a point where you're like, oh, that's my dad, and we gonna clash.
I would never have him jump off the diving board into a world that's already
that's
not
you.
already gonna be harsh.
Us. We talking about us.
But T, you're not gonna. Okay, so let me ask you this:
Who didn't let who finish now?
Okay, go ahead, my bad.
Because
Go ahead.
no, you won't let Crew be in harm's way. But if Crew wants to go and live his own life in his own apartment, and he got the funds to,
this motherfucker broke. They don't have the funds to. They're getting ready to take a risk.
Terrell, you talking about something different. You was just talking to me about why we went back home. You said you went back home and figured it out. I went back home because I had to from college. I didn't have an apartment straight out of college. We came home with the thought we need to get another apartment. We never thought we was going to stay home, and it wasn't because we weren't allowed to. But it was because we had a drive to have your own thing. When you think, oh, I'm going to just stay with my parents, okay.
I don't think anybody is thinking they're going to stay with their parents for the rest of their life type shit.
No, not for the rest of their life.
Everybody that moved back in, like Shorty said, back in with her parents, and like unfortunately for them, they still dealing with some financial issues. But obviously she had the intent of moving back in and shit getting better for her. I just don't think it's going to happen in 1 year, number one. But number two, I don't think staying at home and not taking a crazy risk means you wouldn't have the life you have now. Because you didn't take you took risks going to college as young and taking out loans and stuff. But when you came home...
That is the risk that I'm talking about.
But when you came home, you stayed at home, built something legendary in mom and dad's basement.
I don't have it if I wasn't put in an uncomfortable position, Terrell. You talking about what I did after I took the risk. The risk was the big-ass college loan going to Florida with this big-head-ass nigga. It was just us two. That was the risk. We were a completely different person getting that uncomfortable. You immediately went from being a high school nigga to a nigga that had to pay rent. And you mean to tell me you would have got that level of responsibility and pressure from staying at home with Ma going to PG community college and still being an emo-ass nigga? No, you would not be sitting right here.
And I feel like that's unfair. It's like The Rock saying, if I would have never slept in that car, if I would have never been broke, then I would never be The Rock.
You wouldn't.
You don't know that. And it's unfair to put that on yourself and say, if you would have never struggled like fuck, if Tyler Perry would have never slept in the car,
he probably would be better off, but he might not have been Tyler Perry. That sleeping in the car turned me into Batman.
No, it did not.
Being in that dark cave turned me to Batman.
It did not, Terrance. Batman created the
Batman had a better situation, he wouldn't be Batman.
Batman's a billionaire. So that's a bad example. Let's stick to Tyler Perry.
But it's the thing. You have to go through something to get there.
But Tyler Perry slept in the car.
To become Tyler Perry.
You don't think Tyler Perry, who already had them stories in his brain, he didn't sit in the car and think of Medea. This nigga already had those ideas.
But would he have been able to get them done without the drive that sleeping in the fucking car gave him? I don't see how you're not connecting that.
I think so. I think the drive is the reason he had the drive. I think you have to have the drive in order to take the risk.
You gotta have a job.
You gotta have the drive to take
sleep
the
in
risk.
the fucking car.
But you gotta already have the drive. If you don't have drive, you're not gonna take the risk of sleeping in a car. You gotta already have drive. Does that make sense?
No. You don't get drive just from getting it. Some people...
Terrance, I'm saying...
my fucking God,
I don't think the person will move out of their parents' house and live in a car if they don't already have the drive to be successful.
Okay. I just 110,000% disagree with you. You making it seem like, oh, you didn't have to struggle to get drive. This person might have.
Terrance,
you can't say a nigga was about to become the great individual they became and they didn't need to go through the trials and tribulations to come that. All they needed was a better living situation?
I never said that. I never said that. What are you talking about?
Then what are you saying? You saying Tyler Perry didn't need to be sleeping in a car to become Tyler Perry. I'm saying he did. He's not Tyler Perry without sleeping in the car.
Nate
Rock, I don't even know the nigga that slept on Denzel couch.
Nate Parker.
If you're not willing to say, hey, I don't have nothing, I need to sleep on your couch.
That sounds like somebody would drive. Tyler Perry.
The nigga that's sleeping with his parents don't have that same drive. You're right. He does have drive because the nigga has to sleep in a car or with somebody he don't know. Yeah.
So, but
that drive different. There's no safety net.
But your point is the car, sleeping in the car gives you the drive. My point is you have to have the drive to be willing to sleep in the car. Do you not agree with that?
No, because you making it seem like if Tyler Perry had a house to stay at, he would have the same drive as he would have sleeping in that car.
No. I'm saying if Tyler Perry didn't have the drive to become Tyler Perry, he may not have taken the risk of sleeping in the car to reach his dream. He had to have the dream. Y'all making it seem like you gotta go.
He had a house to stay at with parents to coddle him and be comfortable with him. Do you think that his drive to get shit done would be the same as the guy who has to sleep in a car? Yeah, they could both have the same drive. I think
Tyler Perry's path would have been easier if he would have had that. Not saying that. And the only thing I disagree with what you're saying is that you have to. Y'all making it seem like
I didn't say you had to.
But you making it seem like Tyler Perry sleeping in the car gave him drive. I think Tyler Perry's drive is the reason he was comfortable enough to even sleep in his car because he knew he was going to get somewhere if he kept at it.
Okay, and you don't realize, and you don't think that if Tyler Perry never had to sleep in his car that his drive wouldn't have changed. You think his drive would have been the same and better.
If Tyler Perry didn't have to sleep in the car, he would have the same ideas that he had. I don't think
sleeping. So you never heard of the nigga that has nothing with them having more drive because they don't have all of the opportunities, so not having that gives them the drive.
A nigga that
it does, like your hardship does give you drive. You don't have drive to make it through the hardship. Sometimes the hardship give you the drive.
We're telling people that made it to the end of the race and jumped through hella obstacles that the obstacles are the reason they ended up finishing the race. When if they were able to just run straight, of course it would have been easier. That's not saying that they wouldn't have ran, though, if that makes sense. You're trying to justify, I'm tripping and falling over all types of potholes and hurdles on my lane, but that's what's giving me the... Nah, this motherfucker has to have the drive to say, I don't give a fuck what's down this lane, I'm going to get to the end of it. You got to have the... Before you sleep in the car, you got to have the drive. And we could end it there. We could just disagree.
I just disagree completely. That's why this motherfucker is saying 1 year with my parents and I'm still broke. What are you talking? So when we tell him maybe you're too comfortable, should have been released. Bum ass kicker for the Redskins. Bum ass motherfucker. Anyway, you're telling people. You're telling this person.
Just leave it to the.
You telling this person that's staying with his folks. Oh well, she's wrong by saying he's too comfortable living with his folks because. Okay, so my question to you is this. Where does he get his drive from?
Who?
The dude that's staying with his parents and he's still broke.
I said in the beginning, moving out ain't gonna give you the drive.
So what gives him the drive?
You gotta make the decision with yourself for what you wanna do with your life. I said this, y'all can go back, I said it. Whether you in mommy and daddy house or you sleeping in your car, you gotta have the drive. Because guess what? If Tyler Perry didn't have the idea of what he was gonna be, it didn't matter if he had a white picket fence or if he was in his car. He had to have the drive to do it. Him sleeping in the car versus having a white picket fence.
I think if you have an idea to be a filmmaker and you live with your parents who are paying all of your rent, right? I don't think you have the drive to be successful with that as much as a nigga who is sleeping in his car because his drive towards this is getting him out of that fucking car. As to where your drive is just getting you out of mommy and daddy's house. I just think it's two different things.
You're the nigga that came from the hood and got rich, mad at or trying to make it seem like your drive is better than the nigga who didn't come from the hood and got rich.
Said that.
Think about it. The nigga that come from nothing, it's real easy for that person to tell the person that came from a better situation than them, oh, you done had the same drive as me. Yes, I did. I'm sorry you went through what you went through, but that didn't give you better drive than a nigga in a better situation than you.
Nobody said anyone had better drive.
Let's just leave it to these motherfuckers.
We're going to leave it to the comments.
Put in the comments what y'all think. Hey, we weren't even supposed to talk about that tweet this podcast. We said,
I can't believe that you took that. Terrance, I can't believe you're saying that, but.
Y'all let me know if I sound crazy, because I really don't think I do. And I kind of think you do.
Some of the stuff you're saying makes sense. The fact that we kick people out. The fact that we tell our kids, get out at 18.
What about what I'm saying about the
fact that other cultures let their people stay in. and how that could be beneficial to certain people instead of kicking them out and making them figure it out. I feel like that is true, and I think you made a good point outside of the topic, which is about comfortability, staying under your parents' umbrella. I don't think you would be the same nigga if you stayed under mommy and daddy's. It's funny me saying it. Y'all know how you talk to grown-ass men that still refer to their parents as mommy and daddy?
Nah, yeah.
If mommy told you.
Yeah. Nah, boy.
But if you stayed under that roof, bro, I don't know if you the same real. But
I had that drive in there. We started this under their roof. We had to drive before we took the risk.
You didn't start this
We
before
had to drive.
You went to school, Terrell.
Terrance, you wanted to be a filmmaker.
And
right?
When we came home, we said, we got to put this camera to use. But we had drive from school, Terrell.
These motherfuckers met us in our parents' basement.
But we didn't have drive. We didn't get drive from that basement.
We gonna leave it to y'all. Say what y'all think about
Terrell
this.
is a nut-ass nigga.
Look, y'all just put what y'all think in the comments. We got to get to the real topic of the weekend, which was the fact that Kendrick Lamar was announced as the headliner for Super Bowl, whatever Super Bowl we on now, which was crazy news. And before we get to any of the conversation behind it, we got to talk about the fact that this motherfucker Kendrick is having arguably one of the best years of his career.
100%.
You get a #1 record, right? Featuring nobody. It's just you. You can't say, oh, I hopped on a record with Taylor Swift and got a #1, or, oh, I got a #1 this way. You got an undisputed #1, which he had before, of course, with Humble. But you got a dope-ass #1. You top 10 charted for hella weeks. Bit off the head of of another juggernaut rapper. The world is saying you're the best rapper. And now you're going to finish this run at the Super Bowl. Dope thing for Kendrick Lamar. A victory year for him.
Shh. I see dead people.
It would be better than...
Can y'all imagine?
That's not going to happen.
Terrell, you should have let me start it. Kendrick Lamar has capitalized from this beef. Honestly, in a genius way. To this point, I feel like this needs to be in the history books, one of the best capitalizations from a viral moment that we've ever seen.
That's true.
I do think there is some things to be said about the whole situation. You could say a lot of things.
It was by design for sure.
I don't think it was by design. I think it was what does that, see, that sounds funny. What does that mean? It was by design.
I think it's by design while he's on that Super Bowl stage.
Oh, okay. Well, my thing is, I think he earned it.
I think he earned it for sure for the year.
It's almost like...
But then again, well, I ain't going to get into it. Well,
I'll tell you this. It'd be like if they gave... Nah, that's not going to be a good example. But you can dislike that he got it, but you can't say he didn't earn it. I was just about to say, it's like if they gave Angel Reese Rookie of the Year WNBA. I would not like that. I think Caitlin Clark is having a much better season. But you can't say Angel Reese didn't have a hell of a rookie year.
That's a fact.
And you can say, true. Oh, we know why they gave it to Angel Reese. And guess what? You're probably right. But
what if the motherfucker that gave out the...
It doesn't take away the fact that she did have a great year.
Now, Terrance, this is the thing. What if the motherfucker that decides who gets the Rookie of the Year doesn't like Caitlin Clark?
Oh, Cheryl
everybody, let's say Cheryl Swoops is responsible for giving out the Rookie of the Year. So everybody's congratulating Angel Reese for getting Rookie of the Year, but we know the motherfucker who's responsible for putting you on the stage don't like the other person and is doing it to spite you.
Well, think about this.
Potentially. Because that's not confirmed, but that's the speculation.
That's the speculation. That's what the room
Especially
reads.
with the Super Bowl being where it's at.
Yeah.
And the artist that people thought what it would happen for, it not happen that way. And the backlash.
I just think, that would be between Swoops and a W. But we not going to start shitting on Reese.
Yes, they would, T.
They would, but you still would sound very funny. All right, let's put it back on the Kendrick thing.
Mm-hmm.
Kendrick had a hell of a year, And with Kendrick being on this Super Bowl stage, a lot of people, especially my folks that are in New Orleans, shout out to New Orleans, we got family ties there. No pun intended. I'm talking about me and A-Train. But Family Ties was Baby King, so we good. I was thinking
That's
of Family
still Kendrick.
Matters. I know. I was thinking of Family Matters.
Oh,
You know
okay.
how people try to.
Yeah.
Anyway, shout out to the people in New Orleans who feel like it should have been Lil Wayne on that stage. Now you speak to that. What do you think about the people that say Lil Wayne, who is from New Orleans, the Super Bowl's in New Orleans this year? What is your response to the people who say Lil Wayne should have been on that stage instead of a Kendrick Lamar, who did have the biggest year?
Kendrick Lamar had a dope ass year. He did. He had a great year. He had a great #1 record. But honestly, this is what people got to remember about the Super Bowl stage, right? People love to bring up, oh, well, Beyonce didn't do Texas and Usher's not from Vegas and this person, so why are we worried about this? And look, back in the day, they had such and such. When Beyonce did New Orleans, this was before we had Jay-Z picking who was going to, this before we had Rock Nation or we had, Culture in charge of picking the Super Bowl. Nobody knew that was going to happen for Beyonce. It was dope that she could get a Super Bowl wherever she got it. That was before Jay-Z was deciding who the fuck goes up to the Super Bowl. So that's a little bit different. I think people thought culturally it would have been appropriate when they announced the Super Bowl is in New Orleans. That picture of Lil Wayne coming out the floor with the cup, that picture was going around for months when they announced that the Super Bowl was going to be in New Orleans. So there are a lot of people that outside of people that have no stock in the Kendrick v. Drake, the OVO v. TDE situation that wanted to see Lil Wayne on that stage in New Orleans because it's New Orleans. And we felt like Jay-Z would do that, which, now that I think about it, why would Jay do that, y'all? Jay's not going to do that for Wayne. I don't think Jay does it for Wayne. I got smoke for Jay.
I don't think Jay does that for Wayne either.
But I think that's the reason why people wanted that to happen. And I think it's actually a lot less. And don't let the people that are super OVO down all the way bogged down the fact that there are a lot of people that were neutral that still wanted that to happen just because of it being New Orleans. There's a lot of people that don't give a fuck about Drake at all. They don't give a fuck about Kendrick. They just want to know, oh, okay, cool, I get he beef with, the rap and singing nigga, but we wanted we wanted Wayne in New Orleans, especially when you got LA coming up. That would have been perfect for Kendrick. Honestly, Kendrick had the best year, cool T, but I think maybe even somebody like Future, who had a crazy year this year, if you go put a rapper up there, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think it would have been nice for Lil Wayne to go up on a New Orleans stage. He at home. I get it. I feel like it would have been a definite dope thing for the culture, right? I think Kendrick Lamar having the biggest year in hip hop makes it an understandable choice to put him on a Super Bowl stage for sure. You know what I'm saying? I think the person that made the most noise, that made everybody as excited as can be this year in hip hop, I think was Kendrick Lamar. And I think this move can easily be said, this is because of that. I do think, Lil Wayne not getting the stage at the Grammys, outside of the fact that it's in New Orleans, if we found out that Kendrick got the Super Bowl stage over Wayne and the Super Bowl was in Texas, right?
Mm-hmm.
Would we still be so upset?
No. Because we wouldn't want...
It wouldn't be this...
It wouldn't have a cultural connection.
It wouldn't have a cultural connection, no. I think even though Wayne is from New Orleans and he is a legend, I do think Wayne is a legacy act. You know what I'm saying? Wayne is also a legacy act that is still very actively rapping. Okay. It ain't like the legacy act that Rihanna was.
Usher is a legacy act that is still actively putting out music. Announced a project that came out before after the Super Bowl.
I didn't think that motherfucker should have been at the Super Bowl.
Why are you moving the mic away?
Because low-key, I didn't want to be too loud with it, but I didn't think Usher needed to be on the Super Bowl stage for real. But also, Usher been rapping been out here since the 90s. That's also a legacy act, Terrell. I feel like Wayne is not the legacy act that Usher is. I'm sorry. He's not. He is not. Wayne is a legend. But Usher is a legacy act because look, Usher could get up on a Super Bowl stage, I guess, and play some of his old radio hits that was hits. I think Wayne could get up on a Super Bowl stage and do all right. But also, nothing this year tells me that Lil Wayne deserved a Super Bowl stage. You know what I mean? Like,
it's definitely a regional conversation in terms of where the Super Bowl is taking place. So you're right about that.
and that's not what I'm talking about.
But
I'm not talking about the cultural aspect of it being dope for the people of New Orleans. If the Super Bowl was in D.C.,
it's not.
do y'all see a bunch of us being mad that they didn't get Wale or they didn't get...
We're not going to compare Wale to fucking Lil Wayne.
I'm not comparing Wale and Wayne. I'm comparing the city versus the city being upset versus... Think about it. Even if they got the biggest DC artist ever, it's not like they got Taylor Swift instead of Wayne. I can see the uproar. It's not like they went and got somebody else. We got the biggest act in hip hop right now.
But that's how some people feel. Some people feel the same way they would feel about Taylor.
I'm not saying that they don't.
Because Taylor's the biggest act in pop. Somebody can make an argument. She just had a million first week record. They could have gave Taylor Super Bowl stage and
Taylor
it would have been...
Swift didn't make more noise than Kendrick Lamar this year. I will put that on wax. I don't care about streams. I think the world knows Kendrick Lamar this year. Taylor Swift is big and she has a big fan base.
Y'all not
but
big.
Who transcended fan bases this year?
Terrance.
Kendrick Lamar.
I would agree that Kendrick
Not
had
like
a
us
crazy
was bigger
year.
than a lot of them Taylor Swift songs.
Taylor Swift.
I'm not sitting here arguing that Taylor Swift is not bigger than...
I'm not saying... I don't know you, and I know you're not. Taylor Swift
the most
just
popular
had the
artist
biggest...
in the world right now is Kendrick Lamar.
Terrance, no, he's not. I'm sorry, he's not. He had a crazy, great, probably the biggest moment of the year.
That's what makes me... That's what makes me...
He's not nowhere near the most popular artist in the world right now.
In 2024?
No. Taylor Swift just did... Terrance,
Here we go with the streaming numbers. Go ahead.
First of all, she's... The Weeknd... You got people like The Weeknd, Taylor Swift. Like, before we start saying most popular in the world, because this is where it started making me sound like a hater, because he had a huge cultural moment. But y'all need to also understand that...
You will only connect his cultural
Kendrick
moment
also didn't have
to streaming numbers. Because that's what you about to tell me about Weeknd and Taylor.
When we talking about impact, though, because when you look at a Morgan Wallen, some of these country cats this year, they had bigger... We like to think about the world from our own cultural perspective. And that's what... only reason I'm saying is like, yo, he definitely had the biggest moment of the year. But he's not the most popular artist in the world. And only reason why I'm saying this is because if they would have made it Taylor Swift in New Orleans, I feel like we get the same backlash at Jay-Z for not putting Wayne on that stage. Just now that it's Kendrick Lamar, it's a little bit different because people are connecting it to Jay-Z's, feud or whatever he got with Drake, and then the beef, and then the whole No Round 2's coming out, which was a dope-ass fucking response to Big as the What, to the whole shit. But that's why we having such a deeper conversation about it. But if we being honest, if Taylor Swift was up there, it would still be backlash. Because the Super Bowl is in New Orleans and that's what people wanted from Jay. If Roger Goodell and them had somebody else up there making the decisions, maybe people wouldn't be having this same type of conversation. But since it's Rock Nation and Jay, people starting to see how certain things are aligning. That's all. Trying to make the case that Kendrick is the most popular artist in the world.
I think Kendrick is the most popular artist in the world, but I don't think his streaming numbers are going to match up with Taylor Swift. But I don't think that means anything. I think everybody found out who Kendrick Lamar was if they didn't know him this year, and he was already big. But I think this year, even people who didn't bang with Kendrick Lamar, I think tapped in with him. That's why I think he got the Grammy stage.
So, like, when you say Kendrick is the most popular artist in the world, when you say that, and you're not talking about numbers, because that's what we love to do. We like to exclude, like, the things that don't lie, like numbers. You're going by, like, what? Like, the cultural shift, the cultural big moment that was the beef, right?
Yeah.
But if you say But when I tweet, he doesn't get on the Super Bowl stage without having a beef. Niggas say that that's hate. Niggas say, oh, you trying to downplay Kendrick catalog like he, you know what I'm saying? And of course I'm not doing that because I know his catalog better than most of y'all.
I definitely think he is the most popular artist in the world because of the beef. You went and chopped the head off of the most popular rapper in the world, and I think that thrusted you into a level of stardom that even being as big as he was before, I don't think he was this big. I mean, you had Not Like Us playing on the NBA playoffs. Come on. This nigga was literally this is, I think, the biggest Kendrick Lamar has ever been. So, and he was already big. So, look, let's just dead that. Fuck it. Let's move the conversation forward and talk about how we think Kendrick will do on that stage. And before we even leave it for real, the people that wanted Lil Wayne, don't let me disrespect, okay? This is no disrespect to Weezy and what he is as an artist and literally the legend that he is. I think there's a time for you. There's your time is gonna come, you know? Mm-hmm. But I don't think that his time got stepped on just because the Super Bowl is in New Orleans. Like we've always seen the Super Bowl tie the performing artist into the city.
Yeah.
I think it would have been a dope cultural moment, you know? I think that would have definitely been icy for New Orleans, but I'm having a hard time telling myself that Wayne deserves that stage over Kendrick Lamar is what I'm having a hard time doing. I would say, oh, damn, they was about to do Kendrick, but they chose Wayne. I would have said, damn, they should have did Kendrick.
So let's talk about what we going to see from Kendrick, right?
Yeah.
We just had the Pop-Out show where he basically did a Super Bowl type performance. You went up there, you performed some of your hits. You, of course, performed the diss records. You united the city. But if we chop that fable down to like 15 records, 15 minutes, or I think the Super Bowl is like 20, he going to have like a 20-minute set. Because I know the Super Bowl halftime is a little bit longer than the standard halftime. Mm-hmm. So let's just cut it down to like a 15, 20-minute situation. What does Kendrick perform if not new music? Not saying that he has to put out a whole new album and do a whole new album. Of course he's going to perform some of his classics. But do we want to see you just perform with Dr. Dre 2 years ago? You just did your Pop-Out show where you perform your classics. Mm-hmm. Are we going to have another version of that at the Super Bowl? Or do you think Kendrick's going to put out a new project? Like, what do you think is going, because that's my question. I immediately thought, we're going to get new music before he does the Super Bowl. But I don't know if that's the case.
Honestly, you make a good point, and to me, I do think that's the one part where I am like, damn, he did just do a Pop-Out, which is very similar to a...
It's not the Super Bowl stage, of course, but I'm talking about like what he performed.
Nah, yeah, that's what I mean. You got up there and you do all of your clean tracks. You're not gonna do, like we said, you're not gonna do Good Kid. That's what I would want you to get up on the Super Bowl stage and do. I want you to get up there and do...
I would love a Ken. We
Untitled 07. You know, from the Untitled Master. But I know you're not going to get up there and do certain tracks. You're going to get up there and do Swimming Pools, If Pyros and Crips all got along on a Super Bowl stage.
Yeah.
You know? I think this is you know what it feels like, y'all? It feels like a gift. Don't it? It feels less like... It feels like because of him being at this level, after the post-beef, I think this is a gift.
From Jay?
From just the Super Bowl and Apple Music, and I guess if it's Jay in front of it, then yeah, it's like, hey, yo, you've been killing, killed it this year.
But you just told me that he earned, that's
what I mean.
People would be telling you, if you say it feel like a gift, doesn't that take away from the earning it part?
No, I feel like, it's like, you know how the people who win the Super Bowl get to go to the White House? I just kind of feel like it's like Kendrick Lamar at his height because of the beef, we're going to let him do the Super Bowl. You know what I mean? Lil Wayne, he's been doing a couple features, but like, in my opinion, nothing told me that it was Wayne's year to be on a stage. Honestly, we was just worried about Wayne. You know what I mean? I want him to be healthy. I wasn't thinking of Wayne being on a stage because are you even able to do a big Super Bowl stage?
I feel like that's unfair. I feel like, but you see,
and that's not me hating. That's just us. Literally, we've been worried about Wayne for a minute.
I feel like we was worried because the nigga had dental surgery. He was walking around looking super fat in the cheeks, and we didn't know what he was. Pause. And we didn't know what was happening.
We've had more to worry about with Wayne since then. Since the dental.
I mean, yeah, okay, yeah, for sure.
I'm just saying,
you know. What I don't like, and I didn't want to address this before we even move past it. You see people talk about how he forget lyrics and
I don't like that.
He forgot his lyrics. We just watched Kendrick on the pop out fuck up lyrics to old songs. Was it that big of a deal? Nah, because we love the nigga. But like the nigga that's doing the Super Bowl, we just saw on stage fumble lyrics and shit. Like,
yeah. I don't know why.
If you have the time to prepare, he's going to prepare. It ain't till February.
And I'm not sitting here saying that the nigga can't put a show on. I just wasn't expecting it. I feel like Kendrick Lamar doing the Super Bowl is not a surprise. It's like, oh, all right, bet. They're going to take the industry's hottest guy and put him on one of the world's biggest stages.
Yeah.
Same thing that they did with Usher last year. Usher was just hot as fuck with his. Everybody wanted. Who did everybody want to go see perform last year? Usher. So they said, bet, we're going to give the world what they've been seeing on their TL.
But it makes sense because Usher, the Super Bowl being in Vegas, Usher has a residency already in Vegas that was hot before all of the Kiki shit.
Does Lil Wayne have this hot thing going right now in New Orleans, or is he just from there?
But regionally, it made sense because, bet, New Orleans, everybody knows about New Orleans. If it's going to be Rock Nation in front, you would think that the right move, if you're looking from the outside in of all of this shit, you would think it would be dope if New Orleans, you got one of the greatest rappers ever to do that. It's not just, we're not talking about Wayne like they put in fucking Lil Baby up there for Atlanta.
Yeah.
We talking about somebody that's considered one of the GOATs. It's like if they do the Super Bowl in Chicago and Kanye's not crazy as hell, and they don't do Kanye, but they do Kendrick. And people are mad that it's not, how you gonna do Chi-Town and not do Ye? And let's say Ye don't have the crazy moment that Kendrick had this year.
But that's what I think is the answer to y'all question, y'all.
That wouldn't change the backlash.
For my people who are upset about Wayne and it's Kendrick, my answer is Kendrick's having a huge year.
Yeah,
y'all think they gonna pay respect to a culture they don't give a fuck about? Jay-Z, even though we fuck with bruh, I don't think that he gives a fuck about these cultural moments like y'all do. I think Jay-Z, y'all might say that I'm dumb for this. I think Jay-Z is trying to keep his job. And he would never admit that. But Jay-Z has had obstacle after obstacle to do cultural things with the NFL. And I guess the Rihanna joint was dope. But I don't see Jay-Z saying we gonna put Lil Wayne on stage so we can make the people from New Orleans happy.
That would not, I don't like that, T.
Because you saying it's a cultural moment.
As a nigga from the DMV, I would have thought it was dope to put Wayne up there. I don't mind Kendrick.
What seems like the better business move? To me, it's Kendrick. And that's what I think Jay-Z gonna do. Even though it disrespects the culture, I think, we still getting somebody from the culture. We getting the nigga that calls himself the culture.
But now look at the backlash you face if you Jay-Z. Because my thing is this. If it wasn't really about Wayne, and let's get past Wayne because I did want to talk about Jay. But Jay-Z, now you got all this backlash. Obviously, it wasn't as small of a deal as you thought it would be not putting Wayne up there. You got celebrities reaching out. Fans reaching out, people that you didn't hear throughout all of this
from New Orleans.
I mean, yeah, you got people speaking out. Like, we ain't gonna talk about the Nicki, but Nicki going crazy today while we recording. She's spilling behind Wayne. And when you see backlash at that level, then that means there are some things that maybe you could have thought about different, not that you had to. But let's talk about Jay-Z for a second. Because Kendrick getting the Super Bowl was like oh shit, we've been looking at this whole shit wrong the whole time. It really is Drake versus Jay for a long time. It has been Drake versus Jay for a long time, and niggas didn't get it. Let me run you niggas back through history, and I'm going to tell you why this shit came to a head in my eyes. And you probably seen some people talking about it before my shit got to come out. But Terrance, Jay-Z has a relationship with Lucien Grange. Lucien Grange is a man who is the CEO of UMG, Universal Music Group, who literally has a leg in, hand in of ownership of everybody involved in the beef this year. Rick Ross, TDE, Drake, The Weeknd, Rihanna, UMG over all of that.
Nah, yeah.
And guess who his golden child is, who he said, I would do anything for Drake. He's the greatest. Lucien Grange. You know who don't like that relationship? Jay. You know who don't like the fact that that nigga has that type of situation? Kendrick Lamar. It is a very, very, very specific reason why Kendrick Lamar took cultural routes toward Drake. Think about it. I'm not being anti-Semitic when I say this. Lucien Grange is Jewish. Drake is a black man, but he's also a Jewish man. We just saw Michael Rubin say, hey, yo, he's a Jewish kid.
Yeah.
If y'all don't think Drake is able to be black, but he also gets the nudge from Lucien because he's also like Lucien. So let's fast forward. So keep that in mind. 2015, Jay-Z launches Tidal. Tidal now. You got Rihanna, you got Kanye, you got Beyonce, all these artists. Who's the only artist we didn't see at the launch? Drizzy. Did y'all know Drizzy dropped out of the Tidal launch? They said, this is speculation, but they said Drake dropped out of the Tidal situation 2 days before they did it.
Damn.
2 days before they did it. Like, everybody knows that Jay was salty about that. What does Drake do next? He signs a $19 million deal with Apple.
$19 million?
Yes. $19 million. You see how you thinking that's not a lot of money, right?
I thought he signed a big 500 joint.
You going too far up.
Okay.
Drake signed a deal with Apple for $19 million, and that $19 million deal was going to give Drake all types of, it was going to give Drake certain things that it gave Drake certain stakes and certain things that he could be a part of. So Drake helped Apple literally on the WWDC stage, y'all launch Apple Music. So now we got a brand new, we're out of iTunes. Remember, Terrance?
No more iTunes.
Save your iTunes.
Yeah.
Because now we got Apple Music, but we also had Tidal. Tidal, Jay-Z marketed it better because, hey, look, we got fully lossless audio. We going to give you the best thing. And guess what?
It's coming straight from the creator.
Straight from the creator, and they get paid more. 2016, summer 16. Remember that record? Looking for Revenge. What?
Oh, no.
What?
I just literally got the worst news live.
What?
The worst news live.
What? Oh, Terrance, man.
That kills me. Oh, my God. That is horrible.
Damn, y'all, we lost James Earl Jones.
Do y'all know how much of a legend we just lost? Fuck Kendrick and Drake and Jay-Z. Do you know who we just lost? Are you kidding me? That is a true giant.
Oh, man.
Have y'all ever seen Fences? Do you know who carried August Wilson's words on stage and gave it and put it in Denzel Washington's lap? Do you know he did that after doing Star Wars? One of the biggest roles ever. Do you know he also did Mufasa? A nigga like me grew up on Claudine. We just lost
a fucking legend.
A legend. We're not going to stay too far on that, but rest in peace, James Earl Jones, the giant himself. Woo. That is the, whatever.
Damn. Let's take a moment. Reset. We back. Back on the, where was I at? Oh, shit. We were talking about Jay-Z. I told y'all about the Lucien Grange shit.
Right.
In the relationship Drake got with them. The 2016. Remember he said, I used to want to be on Rockefeller, then I turned into Jay.
I used to want to be on Rockefeller, then I turned into Jay.
You're telling Jay that if I'm Jay-Z and you just fucked me out of the Tidal situation and you went to Apple, I don't like that. So what happens next? Niggas always asking me the key. Till you on your own, you can't be free. How we still slaves in 2016?
We still
under the, this nigga went, you know what I'm saying? That's literally 5 months after you put out Summer 16, he did that. And this is my thing. my swag different, that bag different, my wife Beyonce. I brag different. Everybody knew he was talking about Drake when he said
Nah, but he was talking about Trump, I thought. Because you see, there's some
Terrance,
what's the
no.
difference in that? Didn't they say that was about Trump?
In real life, I'm like goals. In real life, I'm like Hove. In real life, you like me.
In real life, I'm like no. But I
That's
thought
why- no,
the
Terrance,
swag different, bag different, wife Beyonce. I don't know why I thought that was for somebody else.
No. That was 100% because Drake said, I used to want to be on Rockefeller, and then I turned into
I know.
Jay.
And that's why he said, you think you like me?
In real life, I'm like,
Real
no.
life, I'm like, no.
Because my swag different.
Even though
That
Terrell,
bag
hold on,
different.
wait.
My wife Beyonce.
I don't think
brag
that was
different.
only for.
Well, we talking about them two right
All
now.
right, yeah,
It could apply to a couple of people, but everybody knows. Primarily, that was about Drizzy. But 2018, Tidal is still growing.
And actually, it was What's Free that I'm thinking about.
Yes, you always mixing in What's Free lyrics to all J verses. But
No, I'm not. You're literally talking about.
you literally did on the
Something
last
close.
podcast, you said, remember what Jay said on 444? But then you said lyrics from What's Free. Nigga.
I'm thinking about where the aim is, though. Go ahead.
2018, they collab for the talk up. Because the best thing about Jay, bro, Jay does a great job of masking the idea that he don't like you, right? I'm gonna still do a feature with you. But you'll be able, if you listen, you'll be able to see, oh, okay, I can see kind of some smoke. They do talk up. This nigga Drake is popping shit the first verse because Drake not an idiot either. Y'all know how Drake is. He's the nigga that hides the diss in the verse where only one person will know it's about them, and you'll think he's talking about some hoes. When the nigga was talking about they can't ignore the stats, they gotta run me the max. I'll be something whatever to go and do that. You're talking big shit on the record with Jay about how they gotta run me the max and I ain't about to do this. Bet. Jay-Z say what on the record? Y'all kill X, let Zimmerman live. The streets is done. That's after the speculation about Drizzy. Very, very light. I could be reaching there. At the very next record from Jay, 2018, we get Boss. And everybody knows that verse, they've uncovered the verse from the Carters, where on that joint, he says, no cat falls, nigga, you not a boss. You got a boss. Niggas getting jerked. Think about it. Drake signs a $19 million deal with Apple. Niggas getting jerked, that shit hurt. I take it personally. Niggas rather work for the man than to work with me. A lot of people say that was about Ye, but think Drake too. Because niggas rather work for the man than to work with me. Just so they can prove they on my level.
That shit is irking to me.
Yeah, pride always going for the fall, almost certainly.
Bows.
It's disturbing what I grow to everybody bosses to the time to pay for the losses. Remember he said over here we measure success by how many people successful next to you. Here we say you broke if everybody is broke set for you.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to make all of these artists richer. At Tidal, you're doing what's best for you. At Apple, fast forward to 2021 on CLB, these niggas, it's just more petty shit that they've done. Long story less long because I'm not even gonna really get into the whole shit. Lucian Grange has the power to equip Drake with ownership or ownership stake in UNG, which will legit give him ownership over TDE, The Weeknd, all of these niggas. That's why when I listen to Red Button and he says, if I push that red button, dog, everybody haven't gated, I don't think about what he said about Kendrick on Family Matters. I don't think about that. I don't think about, oh, Kendrick might be, beating his wife, or, oh, it might be Dave. That don't sound like that red button to me. Now that I'm thinking about the Jay shit, to me it sounds like he's very close to somebody who could change shit, and other execs around the world, other powers that be, Jay being one of them, they don't like that. So you fast forward to 2023, what happened? I'm really like that, and your best work is a light pack. Here comes Kendrick out of nowhere, coming at the nigga that you already don't fuck with like that. I feel like this is where we can X Kendrick out of the whole shit from Jay. Kendrick took his own shot. I don't think Jay said, yo, Kendrick, go do that. I don't think that happened at all. But what I do think happened was nobody in the world was ready for Kendrick to do what Kendrick was going to do, whether y'all was ready or not. I also I don't think Kendrick knew that it was going to turn into everybody coming at this nigga at one time. But when we sitting here and we talking about It's so crazy. Everybody wanted it to be Lil Wayne, or there's even the fact that there's this amount of backlash for the fact that it's not Lil Wayne on the Super Bowl stage. And who's the nigga that's making the decision to put the nigga that just tried to destroy this nigga who has a stake with Lucian Grange, who's not the culture, who Kendrick also knows that about this deal with Lucian Grange? Who's the nigga that's gonna put the nigga on stage to sing Not Like Us to the world that's watching the Super Bowl? Motherfucking Jay-Z. And that is why I feel like the writing be on the wall. Terrance, you remember Never Had a Lot, this shit was all I need. Nigga turn their back until it's R.I.P. That was CLB.
Yeah.
Jay-Z on that record. Do you remember when he said, niggas tried to kill me and y'all chill with him? You niggas still with him. And you wonder why we not friends.
Yeah.
Best thing I can do is not build with you when I can destroy you. And I know where the fuck you live, but that takes some discipline. Y'all gotta go back and listen to the lyrics because the writing be on the wall. Like,
so you saying they're actively dissing each other on tracks?
yes. I'm saying the smoke been there. You know how you don't know if a nigga don't like you, but you gotta work with the nigga?
Yeah.
And I feel like you might have been talking shit about me and I might have said some shit about you, but we don't know all the way. But we still locked in because I'm not gonna let you think I don't like you, because if I let you know that, it gives me a step back. Kendrick being on this stage is less. The smoke that's for Jay is because this is more so about what I think is Jay versus Drake / Lucian, and he's using Kendrick more so as a weapon. That is my theory. I saved it for the end of the pod so that y'all can just listen to the pod and then tell me what you think about my theory after that. But tell me what part of it don't make sense.
I feel like this nigga Terrell makes a lot of sense, the shit that he's saying about Jay-Z. Like a lot of the subliminals, a lot of the small things that we wouldn't get. I think a lot of people have been hinting at this whole thing being bigger than Drake v. Kendrick. A lot of people think that this is Drake versus the industry. Drake putting his own music out on 100 gigs and going against the grain. I was telling Terrell, I thought it was funny how on the Super Bowl joint it says Apple Music at the bottom of the Kendrick joint. And just knowing, like you said,
Rock Nation, yes.
You know, that Kendrick was there, not Kendrick, but Drake was Apple's guy at one point. And now it does seem like the industry might have turned. What did you say about the joint with No Face where he say the numbers?
I forget what he said about the numbers, but he said they got
the numbers wrong, or they got the
numbers untouchable. They got the data wrong. This is the moment I know they've been praying on.
Yeah,
I don't hear Drake saying that just about Kendrick. He's talking about something bigger than Kendrick.
And I told Terrell this could be him speaking on 20v1.
Of course,
which it could be.
But numbers untouchable. They got the data wrong. This is the moment I know to go away. They empty the clip. And when you think about with Jay saying, the best thing I could do is not build with you when I can destroy you. The next song we get right after that, and this is why I said I feel like Drake be knowing. This is how you can tell people no. If I'm Drake, I hear that on my album. And if that's about me, because if you go on Genius and try to figure out what Jay was talking about, who he was talking about, they don't know. Nobody really knows for sure. But what's the next record we get? I don't understand why you blame me. Take me as I am. I'm the same me. Niggas thought that fair trade was just about bitches. When he says, I've been losing friends and finding peace. Honestly, that sounds like a fair trade. Over the last few years, yeah. And y'all see Axe say, oh, Drake's not friends with an artist that he's collabed with, a big artist. Telling you that's Jay. I'm telling you Jay got stakes in this shit. Tell me I'm wrong. And if I'm Kendrick and I know that Lucian got the what's the name, I would definitely be like, hey, fuck this nigga. Especially if he getting ready to be buddy-buddy with the powers that be, you know what I'm saying? And potentially have ownership, I would 100% try to kill this nigga whole career.
The main thing that makes sense about what you said was, I think in a tweet that you tweeted the other day about how Drake sits so high on the mountaintop. Like he said, I literally had to hike down. I think he did create a big gap that they don't like. I think you do kind of get too big where you have too much power. And a nigga like Jay-Z, I don't see Jay-Z moving in a... Just because, like you said, the way that he responds...
Mm-hmm.
Because what you said about What's Free, what you said about... what's it called? I Got the Keys. What you said about what he's saying on them two tracks in response or in comparison to Drake, it makes sense because I don't think in any way that Jay-Z is for Drake's success. I can definitely see him being envious, especially when you hear Kanye West talk about when Drake and them did what did they do? Oh, when Drake and Wayne did the tour, and Kanye was like, yo, this young nigga about to take our spot, so we did end up doing Watch the Throne.
Kanye the one
I feel
that,
like Jay was probably right with him, like, yeah, fuck him, we gonna knock him off.
Damn, think about it. Ye kind of set this whole shit off too. Dot, I got you. Where's Lucien? Serve your masters, nigga. Remember that?
Okay, yeah.
This nigga, Ye can see it. It's clear as day.
Drake didn't align himself with the artist when it was time to. He aligned himself with the industry.
Yes, that's why people started feeling like he was bigger.
But then he became legit the top dog.
Yeah.
And that's why it's like we used to look at Billboard when we was young. Now we look at Billboard like, is you dumb? Because who's the number one person on Billboard?
Come on, bro. I'm telling you, the writing is on the wall. The nigga Jay does not like that.
I don't think Jay like him.
Jay is moving so inconspicuous that you really can't put nothing on his jacket. He moving like the nigga you don't move away.
Y'all are getting all of this Jay stuff. Y'all are getting all of this stuff from the fact that K-Dot is in the Super Bowl.
Not because of Kendrick being in the Super Bowl, but because of the move. Because you're doing it's like, okay, you're doing this, and everybody is asking about this artist. And I don't think people are just asking about Wayne just because of Wayne's affiliation with Drake. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Now, I will say this before we end this podcast. This is just my theory. Nothing is like super duper facts. I can only go by lyrics and things that I see. Also, shout out to the people that I look at the comments and I see people that are just tired of us talking about certain beef shit and, Drake and Kendrick. Honestly, that's why I saved it for the end so we can have a full podcast and then I'll do my theory. Mm-hmm. But I felt like it was kind of necessary this week given the happenings. And we was going to end up talking about this shit. The nigga said no round twos. Well, are we supposed to not talk about it?
I think Kendrick Lamar just got announced to be on the Super Bowl, y'all. Come on. We have to talk about this shit. And if you're sick of talking about it, turn your computer off. Look, what did Mike Tyson say? Change your show. Turn off your show. That was crazy to say on air. He said,
cancel your show.
Cancel your show. Look, the reason why I say turn your phone off is because it ain't like you're going to turn this podcast off and not hear about it.
Right.
It's national news. I don't think we sitting here saying, so do you think, okay, so let's just go back into Family Matters and why that was. No, we're not doing that, y'all. Let's go into Meet the Grams. We're not doing that. We just speaking on the happenings and low-key the shit you saying about Jay-Z because of the Wayne angle.
Uh-huh.
I think it does put some of Jay-Z shit on Front Street.
And then niggas always say...
Because he don't fuck with Wayne.
First of all...
Kidnap your lady money?
When they did...
okay.
What's the drink they just did with Khaled?
God did,
right. This nigga Jay does what after Wayne verse? 4-minute joint. Tried to bite everybody in the record head off. Who is this calling me? Come on, T5, the music for us, man. We getting ready to get out of here. I had a little sniffle situation. I thought I might be down for the count, but your boy bounced back. So definitely, y'all, be careful. Take your vitamin C still.
And before we even get out of here, NFL Picks is coming up on Wednesday. We need everybody in attendance.
Yes.
We're going to do a recap for the week. We're going to talk about
the picks for the next week.
week. That's what we're going to get in our bag. I'm preparing. I will say the Lions are overrated. Our defenses, the Commanders, are trash. Mm-hmm. I think the Houston Texans are overrated.
Bo Nix look trash.
We'll get into
it. We got the Monday night game tonight, and we will be doing that. Well, y'all already saw the Monday night game last night. Yeah. But definitely, Mallory Bros Podcast YouTube channel. Be there
100%.
For the week
also,
2 picks.
Patreon, we still got shit locked coming up there. Don't forget, that's where we get busy for real.
Yes, sir.
We still got 2011 Jam Session OT Dubs. Mm-hmm. And then we checked out the ASAP and J. Cole joint.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely, that Ruby joint Rosary. What's it called, Ruby Rosary?
Yes.
Good record. Joint is old school Rocky. I like it.
And vintage J. Cole. But
and I'm a known Rocky casual, not a huge, you know. But hey.
We gotta say
crazy
something.
week.
You gotta say something.
Crazy week. Stay safe. COVID going crazy. We'll see you next week.
Next time.